Turin, busy and industrious city, cradle of 1,000 social and cultural struggles, guardian of one of the most important Christian relics, holds in its middies a large house in the Valdocco area. 112,000 square meters where people, inspired by the Word of God and by a saint named Cottolengo, day by day, with faith, hard works and hope, try to continue the miracle of love. Love that, among these walls, is called charity. In order to better understand what Cottolengo is, we have to go backwards with time to the beginning of Cottolengo's work. The miracle comes to light thanks to a man, a priest, Giuseppe Benedetto Cottolengo, born on May 3, 1786 in Bra, a little town at the time in the province of Cuneo. He lives the early years of his priestly ministry in Cornegliano d'Alba. He obtains his doctorate in theology in Turin and joins the priest-theologians congregation of the Body of Christ, who are responsible for the pastoral care of this parish church. He's about 36 years old when he faces a spiritual crisis. He feels an internal turmoil. He is seeking God's will. This crisis troubled him for some years, and at the same time the reading of St. Vincent de Paul's life shed light on him. But it was in 1827, when Giuseppe was 41, that his life was turned over. He saw a poor pregnant woman, Maria Gonnet, dying in his arms. She was refused by all the hospitals in Turin because of tuberculosis. From the womb of the poor dead woman, a little body of a tiny baby was removed, still alive. Cottolengo baptizes her. This event, the bloody maternity, the poor husband's desperation, and her children's tears shocked Cottolengo's heart. From that sad moment, Cottolengo realized he was called by God in order to avoid the repetition of such tragedy. He understood that his particular mission was to give his life totally to helping the poorest and neediest people. Together with God, we can do the best things naturally. And the matter was very important. At first, he created a small centre for the first aid in the inside part of a Turin modest flat, the Red Vault. Later on, in 1832, he founded the Little House, that in the beginning was made up by a few country houses in the suburbs of Turin. The Little House of Divine Providence gave hospitality to those who were refused by other hospitals, or to those poor, abandoned and marginalised. But very soon the commitment of the saint transformed it into a building able to offer concrete help to the most needy and lonely people who lived in economic and sanitary difficulty. And even to the mental and physically handicapped, the elderly, the borderline and homeless people. At the beginning, Cottolengo involved some men and women to charitable works, but soon he felt the need to get some collaborators to grant the continuity of the service. So he founded the Sisters. Marianna Nasi, a widow from Turin, and spiritual daughters of the saint, cooperated actively to his project. Later on, she consecrated all her life to the service to the poor, becoming co-foundress and mother of the Cottolengo Sisters. Up to today, they are the most numerous presence in the Little House. The family of the Cottolengo brothers, consecrated laymen, since the beginning carried out the same nursing and educational services of the sisters. Up till now, the brothers perform social welfare and welcome activities in the Little House. Cottolengo founded also a community of priests called the Congregation of the Priests of the Most Holy Trinity for the pastoral and administrative service in the Little House. These three religious realities came to light because Cottolengo esteemed them necessary for the particular style of life that is performed in the Little House. Everyone works for a unique house, a unique table, for one family, for one church, and to run wherever Christ's charity is needed. It's an original and unique reality within the Church, approved by the Holy See. Cotolengo gave birth to a great work of charity. The poor should be served well. The little house is not just a nursing house, but also a place where we can express the evangelical experience. The spirit of charity and seeking Christ in the life of the weakest men were the spiritual pillars of the saint's life. Prayer, adoration, gratuitous service carried out with faith and the love of Christ are the foundations of the little house. Firstly, Cotolengo based all his activity and the life of the little house on an unlimited faith in divine providence. Divine providence will not fail. We know this by faith, he said, and again, and if God answers with his divine providence to ordinary confidence in him, to the one who extraordinarily trusts, extraordinarily it will be provided for it. Besides, he reminded us, we are all sons of a good Father who thinks of us more than we think of him. The miracles of divine providence never lack in this house, and today still they are going on even by means of the generosity of many volunteers and the almsgiving of the people who cooperate to support it. As the years go by, beyond the main entrance of the little house, a city has come to light. That's a conglomeration of charities, nursing, educational, formative and pastoral realities, such as to bewilder the visitor approaching this institution for the first time. Life in the little house starts very early in the morning. Mass at 6:20 a.m. is the first act of the Cotolengo community. Then, the small town comes to life. Deo gratias, the peculiar greeting of the community, accompanies us all day long, to give evidence that here, in everything and for all things, mainly we give thanks to the Provident Father. Sisters, brothers and priests, through their strict collaboration, ensure charitable, educational and pastoral work. An important role is given to the volunteers. Hundreds of people arrive at the little house seeking in the volunteer service an answer to their desire to make this world more human before it overcomes them. Further on, the lay personnel collaborate with the religious men and women in the most different specialized duties. Doctors, welfare workers, nurses are only some of the experts cooperating with Cotolengo personnel in the management of the little house. The chemist shop that Cotolengo opened still works today in a satisfactory way for the prescribed medicines and charity demands of the house. The modern Cotolengo Hospital is accredited by the Piedmont region and is able to offer an excellent service thanks to therapeutic, healthcare and technological methods. The outpatients departments and wards are a relevant presence in the Turin hospital area. Beds are always available for the neediest people according to the original charismatic inspiration. The hospital houses a graduation degree course for nurses, a graduation degree course in nursing and midwifery science, and a master for nursing functions management according to the agreement stipulated with the Catholic University at Gemelli of Rome. The residents in the little house are Cotolengo's beloved sons. They spend all day in modern equipped environments, with facilities for physical as well as mental rehabilitation activities. The groups that are subdivided according to particular needs homogeneity criteria are called families. And they're such not only by name but also by fact. In the little house, all is family, community life, reciprocal love, strong relations and free solidarity. Everyone collaborates according to his or her own skills to the management of daily life, and all is organised keeping in mind personal needs and rights. One of Cotolengo's most ingenious intuitions was to give work to his own residents. He would have liked that everyone, according to their own capacity, could do something in order to feel useful for the good running of the house. The saint used to say, "Little ones as well have a right to their little reputation." Cotolengo today isn't just a simple healthcare institution. The little house is indeed spirituality in action. Caritas Christi urget nos, pervading every moment, every act and action during the day. The little house tries to live what the saint used to say to his sons. Prayer is the first and most important work in the little house. Rooted in this truth, he himself founded monasteries of contemplative life. The Cotolengo sisters, who have placed prayer to God at the core of their existence. Currently, Cotolengo has 6 monasteries, 5 in Italy and 1 in Kenya. Today, among the activities of the little house, there is also formation training. The spirituality enlivening Cotolengo operators offers a preparation pro-life and the highest spiritual values. Every day in the cultural workshop, people with different disabilities attend personal programs under the guide of skilled experts. Inside the little house, beyond this kind of specialised activity, there are also traditional scholastic institutions like primary and secondary school and first level for students living in Turin. The formation of a human being is one of the matters on which Cotolengo's teaching was based. Didactic formation, as well as a spiritual one, helps any boy and girl to be formed as a man for the years to come. The seminary in the little house, founded by Cotolengo in 1841, is aimed at preparing young men who have answered yes to God's call in order to be Cotolengo priests in the future. Religious formation houses provide the spiritual formation of the young men and ladies belonging to both of the brothers and sisters congregations. The organisation of aid and services passes through the social service, whose duty is to listen and to evaluate the many applications addressed to the little house. Social workers collaborating with the territorial services act so that they can verify difficult situations more globally in order to offer the most specific and effective help. To welcome those most abandoned has always been a must for our saint and for the little house. Fortunately, today, the institution for the elderly, the disabled, the children, or homeless are a widespread reality. Here in the little house, the mission is to attend to the weak people in order to reveal to them that they also are sons of a good father. The welcoming house is aimed at the homeless, the foreign, and the so-called new poor. The canteen offers hundreds of meals a day. Further on, it's possible to freely enjoy the benefit of a dormitory, shower service, and clean clothes. Drugs are synonymous of solitude and alienation. For a drug addict, hope, joy of living, and enthusiasm are values of everyday life which have often been forgotten. The Kotolengo reality, giving joy of living for one's neighbour, offers its help for the difficult physical and spiritual rebirth of drug addicts. In the Turin province, Kotolengo is present with 3 therapeutic communities. In the city too, there are 2 boarding communities. One for children at risk and another for women in difficulty. Besides the mother house in Turin, currently housing about 2,000 people between residents and staff, Kotolengo is present in other parts of Italy and abroad with about 80 branch houses in Switzerland, India, Kenya, Tanzania, Ecuador and Florida. As we have seen, the Little House is a very special reality where the Gospel is incarnated, and Kotolengo's heirs today try to continue the miracle with a smile on their face. This inner joy, even in the most heartbreaking situations, may leave us confused, but when we find the same smile on the resident's face and on the ones who work in the Little House, we understand that here we are living the true miracle of Turin.